Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the next episode of OS Talk. We have a fantastic guest with us today. We have thelewa. How you doing, buddy?
Oh, I'm doing just fine.
That's
Finished
excellent.
streaming.
You finished streaming? All right. And then we've got Charles with us, as always. Hey, Charles, how you doing?
Heyo.
And we also have a whole lot of people here today, too. So we're gonna try to get
Gosh.
We're gonna try to get through our main questions a little bit fast. That way we can get to the Q&A with you guys, because that's usually what everybody's here for, anyways. So the first question's kind of a given. Where and when did you first start playing OS?
Don't be shy.
Lewa.
Oh wait, what happened right there is that I haven't started this as an admin, so if I click any other window, it doesn't recognize the input. Anyway, I started playing Osu about 4 years ago. It's actually, at the end of this month, it's going to be my 4th anniversary with Osu. So, that's when I started playing the game.
4 years ago. Where did you find out about the game?
Yeah, I actually found out about the game on 4chan, which is quite
Yo.
embarrassing.
No, that's cool.
Was it on V, or did you get it straight out
It's
of
actually,
random?
it was on V, yeah.
Oh.
On V.
V.
No, V.
V? Oh, I was about to say.
If it was on B, I was going to laugh, because that would have been funny.
That would have
That's
been
intense.
too weird.
I mean, like, I can only think of some of the crazier stuff that's happened in Off Topic and other places in the internet that would bring us to B, but I don't really want to get too far into that. So, the next question's for all the tablet users out there. Did you start out as a tablet user, or did you come from a history of mouse use?
I started playing with a mouse. I played for half a year with just a mouse because I didn't realize that you can actually use keyboard buttons. And then when I realized that, I started looking into how people play the game. Played with the keyboard and the mouse for about a month, and then on, I think it was February of 2011 or something like that, I bought a tablet because I realized that all the best players seemed to be playing with a tablet, and I misguidedly thought that, hey, yeah, I need a tablet if I want to be good.
Misguidedly, or was Sylvia not around yet?
Well, I didn't pay attention to Sylvia or Doomsday.
Oh.
Sylvia was around. He started playing at the same time I did.
And when you say misguidingly, do you feel that tablets aren't really the best way to get good with that statement, or is it just like you think it's pretty much even 50-50 playing field?
I think you can get equally as good with both of them. I just think that mouse takes a bit more effort, but I mean, we've got so many good mouse players nowadays, and I mean, well, we've got Fun Orange, we've got Captain Nixon, and we used to have Sylvia, who are really a testament to how good playing with a mouse, how possible playing with a mouse at a high level is.
Yeah, and with playing, how often do you play?
Well, I usually play for a couple of hours every day, which is, and when I say a couple of hours, it ranges from 2 hours to 4 hours.
Let's see, so
Wow.
definitely, I think that's probably the better way to do it, because you hear about some people that practice and they go on for playing 8 to 10 hours a day, and I think ultimately that kind of just eventually you'll hit a wall, and once you've hit that wall, I don't think any progress can really be gained in that day. You usually find yourself just trying to do the same thing over and over and just progressively getting worse at it, and then your frustration starts to kick in, and then I think you've completely gone moot at that.
Yeah, it'll just wear yourself out.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I'm doing this one. So,
Okay.
you say you use a tablet, but I'm pretty sure everyone's dying to know like what kind of tablet and what kind of keyboard you're using, because there's a lot of different options out there, and I think people would like to know which ones you're using.
Well, I'll start with the tablet because I'm still using the same tablet I bought all those years ago, which is a Wacom Bamboo Pen CTL 460, and it's the very early Bamboo model, that is, and it's still holding up. And as for the keyboard, I've gone through so many keyboards. I've played on pretty much every single mechanical switch, and I've arrived at the conclusion that red switches are the best for me, and so I use a QPad MK50 keyboard with red switches.
Let's see. And with the tablet dimensions, you said it's one of the older Bamboo models. Is this before they went to like the widescreen-esque format? So it's still like the basic square with your full-sized 4:3 box?
No. This is still a widescreen model.
Ah. Okay, because see, I used to use the Bamboo Fun that came with the mouse and the pen, and it was the old school 4:3 resolution box, and it was okay for what it did, but I've seen that most people use the offhand side, flat, widescreen-esque boxes that aren't really as top-down wide as they are left to right.
Yeah.
Actually, that brings in a question about that. How much of the tablet area do you actually use in gameplay?
I'd say maybe 1/3. And when the tablet area, when the whole active area of the tablet is quite small, it's like a few inches by a few inches or something. I really don't know inches that well. Anyway, it's really small. When you think about the only use about 1/3 of it, you start to realize that when you play with a tablet, the movements you do are actually quite minuscule.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like playing with the high sensitivity mouse almost.
Yeah, except
accurate.
Not except more accurate.
Yeah, and so with using such a small active tablet area, would you consider using an OS tablet at all? Because it has like one of the tiniest active areas for a tablet that there's ever been.
I actually owned an OSU tablet for a while, and I managed to pretty accurately replicate my old active area on it, so it's definitely large enough for me to play on. But the problems I had with it were just a sort of preference. I was too used to the Wacom Bamboo that I used and the pen that I used, so I couldn't really get into using the OSU tablet.
Yeah, I can understand that. The extra weight on the pen compared to a Bamboo pen is kind of a little bit something that takes time to get used to. Go ahead, Charles.
I'm glad to hear that it worked sufficiently for the tablet area. That's really great.
Yeah, it's a good product. I mean, it works decent. It's just, I can understand where he's coming from.
I did want to ask about the keyboard switches, because you have a lot of experience with mechanical keyboards. Now, I am slightly curious as to what happened to the other keyboards, but I think a better question would be, of the switches, you say the red is your favorite. Which would you not recommend as a mechanical keyboard switch?
Blues for OSU.
Oh no, I'm guilty as charged.
Yeah.
Blues or either browns. It's always, it's the tactile ones. I never really liked them. Browns felt like they felt mushy, and blues were just, they're awesome to clip with. They're awesome to, write with. But when you play OSU, the reset point is higher than the actuation point. So if you're really try harding at the game, it's gonna get hard.
Yeah,
wow, that's some great insight, dude.
I'm currently using blues, and this is going from a rubber dome to blues, and it's a pretty big improvement from rubber domes. But
it's definitely still an improvement. Any mechanical keyboard is an improvement from rubber domes.
Yeah. Well, speaking on improvement and stuff, are there any players you look up to or that you've wished to pass?
Wait, I was paying attention to the chat.
Oh, no,
Yeah.
not a problem.
I can rephrase it for Z-Trot's tongue twisting. Alright, are there any players that you particularly respect or are looking up towards as you try to get better at the game?
Oh yeah, definitely want to beat Happy Stick. Seriously, that guy is too good at aim.
Yeah, you got the Elcian and Happy Stick crew, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Oh, that's great.
I see. Okay, well, we do, so with that, is there something you'd like to see from the game that might make it more competitive, or do you feel that it's kind of right where it needs to be in terms of competitive?
Well, OSU in itself is a game that I don't really see benefiting from more competitive aspects. The game is a single-player game at its core. It's about honing your skills and then comparing your progress to the progress of other players. So it's not. I wouldn't be able to imagine like competitive scenes, any competitive things in the game aside from like the OS World Cup.
How do you feel about charts?
Charts are really fun if you can get into them. It's like, but the thing is, not enough people play them. And I participated in like 2 or 3 charts, and one of them was an April Fool's chart about Toho or something. I really wanted. I mean, one of the prizes was a drawing made by Cyclone, and I really wanted to win that, but I ended up second or something. But it's a really interesting concept because it gives. I mean, one of the good things about it is that it gives new players a chance to compete with people. But also, one of the bad things is that not enough good players play charts. So the good thing is also the bad thing in that sense.
And do you think things like people have talked about asking to see stuff like clans or groups or teams and ELO rating stuff, kind of stuff similar to League? I personally don't feel that would work. I could see how teams could work, but I don't think that like setting certain ratings would work. What are your thoughts on that personally?
Well, I think teams would work great, but yeah, as you said, ELO and ratings like that also doesn't need any more ratings than PP. I mean, if you take ELO or something that's based on multiplayer scores and whatnot, it's gonna get too convoluted and like too complex.
Yeah. I can understand that.
I want to go into kind of a more edgy topic, as it were. You've played tons of maps. I wouldn't be surprised if you played all of the ranked ones. What kind of maps do you prefer to play?
That's actually a pretty hard question to answer because the maps that I prefer to play nowadays are actually really bad maps when it comes to the ranking criteria, because I've gotten quite bored with the maps that are getting ranked, and nowadays I spend most of my time just playing unranked maps, and those maps are the kind of maps that would never get ranked.
So
basically just super insane maps.
Yeah, stuff that's pushing the boundaries of human skill, like the BPM tweaked maps, the compilations that are meant to test your endurance. G Garden, I think, is a good example of one of those.
Yes, exactly like G Garden.
Yeah, alright. Now, without naming any names, we wanted to ask, do you have any mapping pet peeves, like patterns that you don't like to see, or without naming any names?
Unless it's anything that has to do with Z-Trot, feel free to say that.
I actually don't have anything against Z-Trot jumps, I really like them, but I need to think about this for a little while.
Yay.
Alright,
Well,
let's
Chat
continue
is
while you're thinking about that.
Yeah, Chad is definitely showing some
Chad is name dropping right now.
concerns.
Alright, anyway.
Well, basically just any kind of overlapping, for like when stuff is below sliders. I hate that so much. It's not easy to read, it's so hard to read. And a lot of people seem to be doing it nowadays, where they just place objects below sliders and it's really hard to read. And then there's Phantom. I really dislike his style for some reason. I mean, it's
damn it, we're so
hard
close.
to read. It's hard to read and it's hard to play. I guess I'm just an irregular player in that sense. A lot of people like his maps. I mean, a lot of people like his maps, but I just never really got it. I never really got why. And yeah, I threw out a name, but you can't really explain. You can't really explain the mapping style without giving the name out.
Yeah, no, we had fun with that with Cyclone the last episode, so don't worry about it.
Oh yeah.
Anyway, so speaking of mapping in general, have you considered taking up mapping at all?
I've tried, but usually those attempts end when I open the editor and I just realize that, holy balls, I'm gonna have to place each circle separately, and like, it's gonna take a whole lot of time, and my patience just isn't enough. I'm the sort of guy that plays games and doesn't create them.
Yeah, and I can understand that because I went from playing to creating, and there was a little bit of time there where I didn't know if I was gonna. I was like, my rank's dropping a whole lot while I'm doing this, and I don't know. But I think it was the overbacking support and people going like, hey, we like what you're doing that eventually pushed it. But like just starting out, it is incredibly hard to get interested, in my opinion.
Yeah, I can see it being pretty difficult to juggle the two things, keeping at a professional level of gameplay while able to create like content for the game. Like there's a couple people who were pretty good at doing so, but they're very few and far between.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and for our next question here, so you're really high ranked at OS, and everybody pretty much knows that, but are there any other games that you've gotten really decent at and are kind of well known around?
No, not really. Osu is pretty much the only game I'm good at. Well, it's also the only game I've invested this much time in.
Let's see. I do remember you talking about playing World of Warcraft, I think it was, for a while, and maybe Terra. I know you were kind of interested in those.
Yeah, World of Warcraft took about 2 to 3 years of my time, but it was never really a high level playing. It was just, the sort of play with your friends thing. Osu has always been like, hey, I want to improve myself. I want to get as good as I can.
Yeah, well, we have a pretty strong testimony from Mara saying that you're really good at killing floor.
Oh, well, yeah. People from the old Osu and Thriller sure know that.
Yeah.
He wins all the competitions or something? Is
Well,
that what?
They do like Hell on Earth or like the hardest difficulty, and him and Mara would be fine and everybody else would die.
Yeah,
it was,
Mara was part of like the Headshots crew.
Yeah, it was pretty ridiculous.
So, I guess you could say that you have mouse accuracy in more than one game.
Yeah.
Yes, except it's a different peripheral, but I guess.
All right, and the next question, then I'll let Charles handle out the last two. How much do you
Last
enjoy?
three.
Well, last three. Well, no, yeah, I guess. How much do you enjoy using Ask FM? It's been noticed that you do get a lot of questions there.
Well, yeah, I do. Without lying, I do spend more than an hour on AskFam every day, and it's gotten to the point where it's almost like a hobby. And most of the questions really aren't about Osu anymore, even though it started as a Osu-related AskFM. Nowadays, it's just people want me to say funny things, and I try to think of something funny. And well, my humor is kind of weird because it's also pretty offensive, so a lot of people don't get it. So my AskFM is also filled with hate messages and whatnot, and like over an hour of my day is just spent dedicated on parsing all these messages on AskFM that I get. And yeah, I do enjoy it greatly.
Well, that's good.
I've seen you actually gathered quite a big fan base on that community itself as well. You really have spread to many people on that site.
Well, it's only about 1,100 followers or something.
Yeah, but how many questions have you answered? I think you hit a milestone recently.
16,000.
16,000.
Here's the thing most people don't know is that I actually have more unanswered questions than I've answered. I've deleted about 20,000 questions, and now I have 9,700 questions just waiting to be answered. I'm pretty picky about what I answer, and still I answer like 50 questions a day.
Oh man,
Wow.
that's a little bit on the nuts side. But yeah, go ahead, Charles, with that next question.
Yeah, I know a lot of people have seen it, whether it's looking at OS replays or whatnot. What would you give for advice to getting a low unstable rate?
Learning to read the map. I mean, a lot of people who think about accuracy, I'm gonna assume accuracy is the same as unstable rate because they are pretty much the same. But a lot of people, when thinking about accuracy, they just think they need a good rhythm sense or something. But the most important thing I found is the ability to read the map well. I mean, knowing where in the musical timeline these objects go to. If you can't do that, you won't have good accuracy, and if you can't read maps, you can't do that.
So you'd say more than just the brute force mental rhythm, it's very important to actually know what the mapper is doing in the situations, otherwise you will just be completely off?
Yes, exactly.
All right.
Yeah, with a mindset
Now-
like that, you can definitely actually, if you can understand what the mapper's doing, then mapping almost becomes second nature once you've broken it down like that.
All right. Now, Zetrot's squeaky chair will lead us into our last question. What would you say is your best achievement in the game?
I have to say that a lot of
Everyone
people
has trouble on this.
A lot of people would say that it was my Hidden Art Rock School World's End by Demeter, but I think it's my Hidden Art Rock SS on DJ Pop's Night of Nights approved map, which had I think it had 1,100 circles at OD10, and I managed to assess it.
That's nuts.
Wow. So a combination of reading the patterns and that unstable rate giving you that SS.
Yep.
All right.
Okay,
So-
well that's about it for our questions here. Now the next section is going to be our community-driven Q&A, and it's probably going to take a lot longer than normal. So anybody that has a question, feel free to start kind of lining up. We have one person that's already said something about it, so we'll get Kiyanko down here. She does want to get a question in, and then whoever is next, just feel free to answer it. We'll have our moderators kind of help get the flow down to a single streamline. So we'll go ahead and get that set up. We'll
Right.
go ahead and bring her in first, if I could find her. Wow, this is a
Where
big
did she
list
go?
of people.
Oh, there she is. I found her. I'll bring. Oh,
You
There's
could
so
go.
many people that I can't even find where I'm at up there.
hey,
So,
Kiyanko.
Hello, Charles. Hello, Zetra. Hello, Lua. So, Lua, how many tablet pens have you broken?
That's. I need to go back now. I need to go back in my mind and think about that for a while. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I lost the 6th one. So I think I'm at my 7th tablet pen.
Oh man.
Oh man.
I think I think
Yeah.
he beats Jaka for the amount of broken pens.
I think so too. Jack had 4, I do believe.
Jaka
Was
had
that right?
4.
Yeah. So no, you're doubling Jackacho at this rate.
Oh,
Excellent.
yeah. It's getting quite expensive. I hope I won't break anymore.
Thank you very much, Kiyanko.
Okay, and our next person to ask, I do believe, is Mara.
Yeah,
actually
Mara
has a
had
question. Okay.
Hello, Mara.
Hello Charles, hello Sistrat, hello Lewa. I have an amazing question in here. And that is... What do you think about the Finnish community and how can we improve it?
Oh wow.
Oh, well. The Finnish community. Well, as I've been kind of falling out of the Finnish community, I've been able to look upon it with reopened eyes, and I've noticed that a big thing about the Finnish community has always been these groups of people who are very close to each other, and they have their own things, and they don't want any outsider in those groups, and this creates a sort of hostile environment in the Finnish community, especially the Finnish chat. And because of that, not a lot of new players and new people really want to talk in the Finnish chat. And basically what we should do in order to improve upon that is people should stop being so like only hanging out with certain people, and we should somehow get rid of this group mentality.
Yeah, definitely be more open. And believe it or not, that happens dang near in any community. Every channel has its demons, I guess is the proper thing to say about it. It's just like being able to realize that and come to terms with other people and make sure that that works towards a better future. I think is ultimately what everybody wants, but people just aren't as open to accept it. And I mean, hopefully things like this, like I was talking, other cool community things that brings everybody together, like with no boundaries, you know. I mean, heck, if somebody wanted to come in here and ask a question in Finnish, you know, we have you and Mara that would be able to translate that, and if they wanted to do that in their native tongue, by all means, you know, because that's just kind of the kind of thing we're trying to set up. I would like to believe, at least.
Very open framework for getting questions and people talking to each other within communities and about communities.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so thank you very much, Mara. We really appreciate that one.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so next we have Jugment. Jugment. That's great. All right, so I'm gonna move Mara out.
Okie doke.
Actually, I can't. Oh, there we go. Yeah. All right. Bring in Jugment. Hi,
Okay,
Jugment.
hello everyone. So my question is, when you are doing like good plays like Hidden Hard Rock or double time things, and you are the only one who's doing it, so no one has scores on it, how nervous do you feel?
I feel so nervous, I'm shaking rigorously. Like, the pen might just fly out of my hand because I'm shaking so much. It just makes me feel really nervous. I shake a lot. I get the shakes, and the shakes are really bad. Sometimes I miss because of the shakes.
Oh yeah, I'm not on that high term of play, but I know exactly what you're talking about. First time you go to full combo something, anything, like you just get that like pit of your stomach feeling, and you're like, oh, I hope I don't miss. Oh, I hope I don't miss. And then you usually miss. And then you can go right back to instantly doing decent on the song. It's like all of that tension is completely lost with that one miss. You know?
Yep.
All right. Well, thank you so much for your question, Jugment. We'll go ahead and move you now, and we'll take our next one.
All right, our next one is Spam.
Okay.
Hello, Spam.
Hi. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. What do you consider to be one of your biggest weaknesses?
Definitely my lacking speed. Well, I am one of their slowest players when it comes to their highest rankings. Because, well, most of the players in the game nowadays are playing these really hard double times, really high BPM double times, stuff like 170 BPM and higher than that with double time, and I can't even read that stuff, and I'm much less than play it. So that's probably my biggest weakness at the time, because everyone else is doing it and I can't really get in the bandwagon and just do that stuff. I'm stuck doing Hidden Art Rock, which I happen to be quite good at, thankfully.
Yeah, I agree. Double time is a real pain.
Indeed. But yeah, that is pretty much the only weakness I can think of. Oh yeah, obviously getting nervous is the second weakness. Those are the two weaknesses. The main weakness is getting nervous and just being slower than the other top players.
Yeah, I had stopped playing earlier because I was starting to shake.
All
I
right.
find myself shaking, but I can't tell if it's the coffee.
Well,
All right, thank you very much, Spam. Very good question.
Thank you.
All right, so next up we have SDS, but I'm pretty sure he doesn't have a microphone, so I guess he should ask it in text.
I think he already asked him in text. I mean, I saw it.
Could he ask again if he's still here? Oh, there he goes. All right, yeah. So next question is from SD. Prime example of great username.
Yep.
All right. The question. I have to read it aloud for everybody. The question from SD is, what is the actual reason you let your hair grow?
That's actually a very good question. the actual reason is my mom used to cut my hair, and she always made it a buzz cut or something like that, really short hair, and I never really liked it, so I didn't really want to get my hair cut anymore, so I haven't in 8 years.
Dang.
9. It's been quite a long time. It's a really weird story, like, hey, I don't want to get my hair cut, better let my hair grow.
And now you're at the point in your life where you can say, yeah, I can grow my hair how I want.
Pretty much, like, oh, I can do all these things. I'm gonna do all
great.
of this.
Alright, well, thank you so much for your question.
Alright, now we have, the next guy was, Sweds, or is that supposed to be pronounced Swedes? I can't really tell. Either way, he says he has a voice question, so I'm gonna go ahead and bring him in now.
We've got Gooby in here.
Oh, wait, somebody moved to Gooby.
How did you get Gooby? Alright, hang on, I'm gonna fix this problem. We'll get Gooby right after.
It's Swedes.
Swedes,
Anyway.
okay, cool.
Anyways, Lewa, does OS ever interfere with your social life?
Not actually. Most of my social life is centered around OSU. Which is quite sad, but then again, OSU is a very community-centric game. So, OSU has these certain social aspects, and a lot of my friends have gotten into playing OSU after seeing me play the game too, so it doesn't really interfere with anything.
Well, you're not alone, I can tell you that. Anyways, thank you for my question.
No problem.
Thank you very much, Swedes. Alright, so next we have Gooby, still this time.
Alright.
Alright, hey Gooby.
Hey. Okay, so I've heard you
Yes.
your parents raised you up like a fucking way. Do you think that like made you competitive in rhythm games or something? Like, do you think that affected it? Is my mic not working?
Oh, it's
No,
working.
it is. I think Lewis
I think he's
connected
just
the
kind of
dots.
trying to think how he would answer that.
I didn't hear
I think-
anything.
Oh, you didn't hear anything?
Look, he asked, do you think the way you were brought up affects how you are at rhythm games? Were you a pack wolf in a bunch of white wolves' den?
No, I'm just thinking. No, I mean, I didn't really play any. I didn't really play any instruments when I was a kid, and I wasn't really brought up in a way that would affect how I would play video games either. It's just I was brought up in a rather normal way, I would say. So I don't think it affected how I play the game.
Alright. Well, thank you for that question, Gooby. We do appreciate it. And we're going to go ahead and see who we've got next.
Is Cindy next?
I'm
do
going to
believe
stop
Cindy.
trying to move people, because...
Yeah, I think Korad's got that under control.
Okay.
Alright. Hello, Cindy. Oh, actually, Cindy doesn't have a mic, so I guess, are you going to ask it with a question?
Are you gonna
in
ask me
text?
that question? Oh,
Yeah, ask it with a question in text, yes. Ask a question with a question. Question with the answer of the?
Yeah, well, we got to kind of pull a little bit. It is a little bit anticlimactic, but so Cindy, whenever you have the second to type that, we'll go ahead and get to that
it's
question
over
for you.
right there.
Oh, okay. And where's that at?
Oh, the live, the chat, the other chat tab. You know, the live
Oh,
room
really?
chat tab.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the question is, did you find a best friend over the OS community?
Ah, Jesse.
Jesse!
Jesse. I mean, no, that's all I can say about it, really. I mean, Jesse and Chris are probably like the biggest bros I've found over OSU.
Well, that's excellent.
Are you
I've
guys? Are
actually
you
met
the?
Chris already, but haven't really met Jesse yet. So that's a thing that should happen.
I guess you three are the Banderia bros.
Yeah.
All right, thank you very much, Cindy. I do believe we have the user by the name of Lua Hype Pipe, which is pretty cool. He has I think a text question, so feel free to ask that, and we will ask it to Lua. Are you saying next is? Who's next?
Okay, so Lua Hype Pipe said no. He's not got
Okay,
any...
then I guess it's Evan is
Evan-
next.
Yeah, Evan, we're not going to say that last name.
And he means
Yep.
he can talk. Lua Hype Pipe can talk.
Well,
okay.
hello everyone. Obviously,
Well.
it's Cookies and I here.
Okay.
My question is, if Osu was never made, do you think you'd still be a professional gamer?
Wow.
Deep.
Probably be playing something like Stepmania, in which you can't really be as much a professional gamer. I don't really think that I'm a professional gamer anyway, but I mean, I'd probably be playing Stepmania now that I think about it, because it is a sort of similar game when it comes to improving yourself, and it's been around for a longer time than Osu. So if Osu didn't exist, I'd probably be playing Stepmania at a high level.
All right.
Well, okay then. Thank you for that.
Thank you very much for that question. It's always interesting to consider what you would have done if you never found the community. Alright, so it turns out that the Lua Hype Pipe actually does have a microphone, so it will not be a text-based question. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and bring him in right now.
Okay, doke.
Hello!
Hello.
Hello.
Okay, Lewa, what do you think is the best play ever done in Osu? Like, overall?
Best play ever done in Osu.
Like, any game mode, even.
Would probably be. I'm gonna have to say that it's probably something by Ruchi or Cookiesy, but I'm not gonna think of Cookiesy in this because, well, Cookies is banned. But
Rest in peace, Obama.
yeah, I think actually Ruruchi's score, hard rock full combo, well, almost full combo, because he missed the last note on purpose on Leaf Terror.
Okay.
Is the best play ever.
Hmm.
I have to check if it's actually Leaf I, and the difficulty name is Terra. And yeah, it's such an amazing score. I don't think there is a single score better than that in the game.
Okay.
Wow. Cool. Thank you very much, Lua. Both of you. Lua Hype Pipe.
Both
as
of
it
you.
were. The Lua Hype Pipe. Alright. Thank you very much.
All right, and
All right.
the next question was actually a text-based one. Don't know how serious it is, but I would probably do this myself. So the question was from Ty DiJora, I'm gonna say, something like that. And it said, when you get that Twitch sub button, can I throw money at you?
Well, I'm not gonna refuse money, and I'm not gonna tell you not to throw money at me. So I guess you can throw money at me.
So are you actually working towards getting a partnership with Twitch, or is that just something you're kind of doing as a hobby, or?
Well, streaming is a hobby, I'd say, but when I was streaming last spring, what happened is I realized that I could get subscribers probably. I was kind of working towards it. I never really just did much towards it, and now that I've seen all these other Osu streamers have subscriber buttons and partnerships, I'm thinking, hey, why not get one of myself? I mean, I can actually just get emotes, which is the thing I'm looking forward to. I want to make my own emotes.
You can imagine you have a crying yourself
Crying
like right in the
Susumu
corner.
Hirasawa and a
Right in the
baby
corner.
face.
Excellent. Alright. So I think that's actually all of the questions.
Let's see here. We'll give it a few seconds real quick. Is there anybody else that has any questions that they'd like to go out and give to Lua? You go out and give him a question, yeah.
You gotta ask those questions. Oh, well, okay, that works. We got someone who is not really Obama, and he's asking if, Lua, if you have the ability to fly.
Well, since a lot of people have been asking this question from me for some reason, I do believe that I might have some dormant abilities that allow me the capability to fly.
Okay.
I mean, otherwise people wouldn't be asking me that.
Well, eventually, obviously, everybody can take wings. I mean, you have those luscious locks of hair. I'm pretty sure if you just flapped your hair hard enough, you could take to the sky.
Yeah.
Another question, and this one's a little bit on the touchy side, is Chocolate asked your opinion on Sayonara Bae.
My opinions on Sayonara Bae is that he is a very good and fast player who is still a bit lacking on the general side of things when it comes to skills in Osu Standard. I mean, he is a very one-sided player because he only plays double time. But then again, it's not a crime. He's managed to climb to the number 1 slot with just by playing double time with Hidden, so obviously he's doing everything right.
Yeah. And then another one from Not Really Obama is, are you going to try to reach for number 1?
No. That has never been my goal in the game. But I am always trying to get into a higher rank, but my goal has never been to get to rank 1. But my goal has always been to, get a higher rank and improve myself. It's sort of weird, but I mean, I want to get into a higher rank, but I'm not specifically aiming for rank 1.
And Seppo has a question, and feel free to answer this if you want to or not. And you can clarify on it. It says, with your mandatory military service coming up, do you think you'll continue playing OS seriously after it?
Oh yes, I'm going to clarify one thing, that I'm going to have mandatory military service coming up in, I think, a little bit over a year. And it's gonna take either 6 months or 1 year of my life away. And in terms of Osu, that might be rather bad, but yeah, I'm probably gonna keep playing Osu after that. But the bad thing is that I'm probably gonna fall quite a lot behind and stop being one of the best players. Basically what's gonna happen is I'm gonna become a sort of mini Cyclone or something.
Okay, and then another person, Dum-Dums, or Drum. I keep on calling him Dum-Dum.
Well, I mean,
like the lollipop.
I don't know if you're a dum-dum now, but we'll see.
But Drum, how long did it take for you to love the game?
Well, me and Osu have a very turbulent relationship, and it's sort of a hate-to-love relationship, and where our emotions range from hate to love at very short intervals, like at a moment's notice. And it's been like that from the very beginning, so I would have to say that, yeah, from the very beginning, but it's always coupled with hate. Because, for obvious reasons, if you try something hard enough, there's a certain degree of frustration coupled with it.
Yeah.
So, when you're flying around with your golden locks, you run into a bit of turbulence.
Yes, that's exactly what happens.
Okay.
Alright, so yeah, I think that's it.
Yeah, both the questions are kind of just getting.
They're getting very, very silly. I think we've done enough questions. We're hitting 44 minutes right now, and I think that's a good time to stop.
Yeah, not a problem. We want to thank everybody that came out today. The video will be up within the next couple days. Usually look for it then. And this is Ztrot, Charles, and thelewa signing off from the OS Talk, and you all have a good one. And remember, rhythm's only a click away.
Yepers.